nice would it be if we could predict our future? Well, that's a topic for scientists and science fiction writers. But on a somewhat related note, imagine this scenario. If someone somewhere were to guarantee you 100% success in whatever that you're doing right now, be it your career, your relationship, or whatever that you're doing right now, provided you're willing to spend about 70 hours a week working on it, wouldn't you find it a lot more easier to spend that 70 hours for that subject? I guess the answer is yes, and always. Would it help if I said that there is a scientific and experimental evidence that suggests the same? Ladies and gentlemen, here is an experiment that you should know of. The Polgar experiment, the story of Laszlo Polgar and the Polgar sisters. In the early 1960s, a young Laszlo Polgar observed a certain characteristic trait that was common to all the geniuses across centuries that he referred. They all started very young and they were all obsessed about it. He now knows the secret ingredient to making a genius. Well, for Laszlo Polgar, since it was a little too late, plan B. Start a family, raise children, make them geniuses. In his own words, when a child is born healthy, it is a potential genius. First things first, he wrote letters to the government explaining his thesis. They rejected it. So now that he is on his own, he started writing letters to countless number of women explaining his thesis because he needed a partner. Hey, pretty woman, let's raise geniuses together. I doubt if it's a very good conversation starter. But again, who am I to judge Laszlo Polgar? Especially since the strategy worked. Fast forward 5 years, Laszlo Polgar married Clara. They raised 3 children together: Susan Polgar, Sofia Polgar, and Judith Polgar. Now that the stage is set, Laszlo Polgar had to choose an area of expertise where the children would spend their hours, countless number of hours, perfecting and practicing the necessary skills required to be the best in the world. Because, that's what geniuses do. Within a very wide spectrum of options available, Laszlo Polgar and Clara chose chess. Now, this was not a random choice. It was a very well-researched and calculated decision. Now you see, this whole experiment is a genuine attempt at proving that geniuses are not born but made. And for that, they required a very objective, conclusive result. Now, let's all agree that art is, at least to some extent, a very subjective discipline, and there is no precise procedure to measure artistic excellence. Now, in chess, as you might have already guessed, there is a rating system that helps with the quantification that we're talking about. That helps, hence chess. Now you see, Laszlo Polgar didn't just sit there while his children played with the chess pieces. He had a very well thought out method for child rearing. He had established a system. All 3 girls grew up to become world champions, with Judith, the one who would practice the most, becoming the greatest female chess player of all time. They didn't just do it. They didn't just reach the top. They reached there in style. In Judith's own words,
by practicing daily chess, chess became as my native language. I never forget when I was just 7 years old and I was standing in the main square of a town in Hungary, and there were 15 chessboards set up, and I was playing with 15 opponents simultaneously, and I beat them all. But what was even more fun, when a bit later I was playing and winning against grown-up men, playing blindfolded.
So, having established that success is 99% hard work and that geniuses are not born but made, we come to the important question. How does that help us? What can we learn from the Polgar experiment? How does it help us to make better decisions? How does it help us with our lives, our choices, our decisions? You see, the Polgar experiment is widely considered as a conclusive evidence for the fact that hard work pays and that nothing beats hard work. Now that's established, the word excuse is out the window. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're going through right now, there is always a place that you want to reach, and simply put, it's possible. You can reach there if you work hard and if you can persist. We can trust Laszlo Polgar. He's a man who spent his entire life trying to prove a point, and if that point is hard work is the key, then hard work is the key. I get it. We didn't start at age 3, or our parents didn't know of it when we were 6. But again, if you think about it, not all of us are trying to become the greatest of all time. So, just work hard. Now that there is motivation to work hard, that there is fuel to push harder, it is the mind that stands in the way. Intrusive thoughts, self-doubt, anxiety. There are 3,000 different guys inside the head that would threaten to go haywire if you made a move. Here is a story, an anecdote that I want to share with you along with the Polgar experiment. If you take a jar and fill it with rocks, you suppose that it's full. But in reality, there is so much space left between each rock that you can add a lot of pebbles in between. Is the jar full now? You would think so, but you're wrong. Try adding sand into the jar. You will see that you can. Now, this is an anecdote that is used to explain life, but I would rather prefer to use it to think about mind, our thoughts. You see, the jar is your mind. The rocks are the important things in life, the thoughts, the important thoughts, the thoughts that matter. The pebble represents the minor things in your life. Not very important, you can live without them, but it's a lot nicer if you have them. Whereas the soil, the sand, represents intrusive thoughts, anxiety, stuff like that. Now, see, a lot of times what happens is that we try to fill the jar with sand and then there is not enough space left for pebbles and rock. Now you might be able to add a few pebbles into it, but that's not enough. What that matters is how many rocks you can add. And if you think about it, without pebbles and without sand, you can survive, but it's the big things that matter, the important things that matter. And one must look into completing those things first. Now, this story is for me a reminder that wants me every time I try to fill my mind with sand. It reminds me that there are pebbles and rocks that are waiting in line, but I have chosen to complete the jar, to fill the jar with sand. It helps me every time I begin to overthink. I don't like to be preachy, but I was hoping that since this is a universal issue, I would narrate the story along with the story of the Polgar sisters to paint a picture.